I want to talk about this statue also. That is that what
It's
we
an
call it?
inside joke.
Yeah.
My wife Haripriya, also senior advocate.
Yeah.
We have, ever since we were in Mr. Venugopal's chambers, we have clashed on almost everything. We have many common values, but different views on law and interpretation and this and that. He had gifted this to me, and then I was in the airport. There's this chap who makes these based on different professions. So he had gifted this to me, some friend of mine, and I had this in the office. And then it struck me that when I was in the airport, I think it was Bombay, which has these creations. There was one this size. I deliberately got a small one because I remember this hand pointing down. And this is my inside joke to Haripriya, that I'm going to come and keep this here so that when people see it, they will see this is me, this is her. This is making fun of her. But it's also possibly an allegory about our times, that the way, like you said, it's a boys' club. Men dominate the profession, men promote men. Equally, I don't think, this is my view, I don't think women do enough to promote women. More often than not, women will be happy to go and brief a male counsel and not a female counsel. I think it's absolutely disgraceful.
Because it's instinctive. It is so instinctive, and that bias has been going on for very long. It's not something people are aware of. They do it unconsciously.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I think the more we talk about it, they become conscious of
Yes,
that, and they
perhaps.
possibly can change and alter their ways.
Of myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but it's a fact. I was in a flight and I saw a female pilot, and there's a perception that women don't know how to drive and fly, and I'm generally very scared of flying.
Okay.
So I immediately was more scared that,
Yeah.
oh, this is a woman, will she be able to handle it?
Yeah.
That question popped in my mind. So the fact is that it is there, that instinctive bias. How do you really get rid
So
of it?
I'll tell you, funnily, I had the exact opposite experience. I was on a flight, woman pilot. It was a large double aisle aircraft, and I thought to myself, oh, thank God. And I'll tell you why. In my experience, I found women are more methodical, they are more organized, they are more reliable, and there's less shusha about them. This is broad. It's not about individuals, broad. So they won't pretend too much to know something that they don't know. They won't pretend, right? While equivalent guy, normally he'll just want to be cool and swish and click few buttons and think it's okay.
Yes.
So the minute I knew it's a woman pilot, I was like, okay, I'm in safe hands. She's going to go by the book. She's going to make sure tuck, everything is done. She's going to check it the second time, tuck. So I actually would have more faith in a woman pilot.
Wonderful. That's so good to hear.
No, so I was coming to that. I was saying, therefore, in our profession,
Yes.
I find it an absolute disgrace. Disgrace, that's the word I will use, that the Supreme Court of India has only one woman judge today. It should never have come to this. It is shocking, and all the collegium judges responsible for this must look in the mirror and try and figure out why this has happened.
But this is a big debate that you've opened up, and gender versus merit is something that I often struggle to figure out in my own mind. So the question I probably want to put to you is, gender representation at the cost of merit or not? How do you balance that? How do you really figure that out? Because legal acumen and gender, how do they collide, coincide? Are they supposed to when you're choosing judges on the bench?
See, the normal response that the collegium members will give you is the fact that, "Arey, kahan hai women judges Supreme Court mein le aane ke liye?"
CJ Bobde had said this back
Yeah, they will all say this. I wrote about it then as well when CJ Bobde said that.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I wrote about it then. Because let's not have, I believe this is a cop-out, it's an excuse. When you wanted, you got guys who were fourth senior most in a high court, you brought them to the Supreme Court, and you ensured they were directly made Supreme Court judges without them ever having been Chief Justice, 150th in All India seniority, etc. Okay. You did that, right? Repeatedly, not once, many times. The guys who've never been chiefs anywhere have come to the Supreme Court. So you couldn't find in the entire assemblage of women judges across the country, you couldn't find one or two you could have brought. This is an excuse. It's a cop out. I don't want any of these collegium judges to think it's okay to say this. It's
Okay.
not. It's not okay to say this. There are enough and more meritorious judges who are available across the country at various levels, who are meritorious, who have integrity, who tick all the right boxes. Right? They may not tick the government's boxes perhaps, and therefore because you're doing a trade-off you may not want to bring them. That's a different matter. But I'm saying there are enough. I can assure you there are enough. I've appeared before them. There are enough.
I'm sure.
The question is whether you have the will to bring them. Second, you don't have to bring only judges. There are practicing women lawyers. You brought Indu Malhotra, who was practicing the Supreme Court. You have practicing women senior advocates, both in the Supreme Court and in high courts across the country. Are you telling me we don't have merit anywhere? You designated them as seniors, right? So obviously there is a large enough pool of people that you could bring.
Yes.
So while it's being thrown out as a statistic, oh, we don't have enough merit, that's false. It's not true at all. There are enough and more meritorious women that you can bring, and it's not a quota issue. It's a question. It's a question of an ideology beginning to take root that only men can do this, or men can do this better. From what I've seen, like I said, for the exact same reasons that the woman pilot is somebody I'll rely on, I would rely on a woman judge to largely, I have found women judges who are not great either, right? But you're going to find much more of that among the men.
Yes. Because they are
So-
more in number perhaps. That's
Exactly, exactly. So I think it's necessary for us to consciously understand that this argument is a false argument.